thousands of years ago, when I was a young woman, a very young woman, and a very foolish one. It was a time in Israel of great prosperity, and the people, as you'd say in your century, were living it up quite a bit. So God called a man named Hosea to speak to the people about their idol worship and about their turning away from God. And he was a warning about judgment. Turn back to me, he warned. And one day, God came to Hosea and said, Hosea, I want you to take a wife. Now, Hosea's eyes lit up. He was quite unattached at the time. And he was quite lonely because, you see, the message that he was preaching was not very popular at the time. So when Hosea heard my name, he was quite perplexed. But he was very intrigued because, you see, I was quite the looker during those days. Then God burst his bubble. God told him, you will marry Gomer, but she will be unfaithful to you. Now this took him back quite a bit, but knowing Hosea, you have to know that if God said it, he would obey it. So Hosea came calling. I said, Hosea, I am not the girl for you. You see, you are a man of God, and I don't share your values, and I don't share your faith. I'm just not the girl for you. And you see, I have a reputation. I'm quite the loose woman, and I like to party, and I like my freedom, and I'm really not the girl for you. And Hosea kept saying, Yahweh wills it. Yahweh wills it. Eventually he wore me down because I thought the idea of being married to a prophet and a prophet's wife sounded kind of glamorous. So I said yes, and there we were, Hosea and Gomer, the woman who loved her pleasures. I tried to make a go of it for a while. I tried to be the faithful wife. I truly did. But the world kept calling after me, and I drifted back into my old life. But Hosea kept coming after me. Time and time again, he would come after me and bring me home. What kind of man does that? What kind of man is that full of grace and love that he would keep bringing me back, betrayal after betrayal after betrayal? We had 3 children, and things were okay for a while. But then I started feeling that restlessness again, and I was not content. Because you see, being married to a man who had a thunderous warning to his people, and they called him the prophet of doom, it just wasn't that happy for me. It was a very difficult time. One day Hosea came home, and he found a note from me. I had left him for another man, and this was a man who'd promised me excitement and adventure and all the pleasures I could imagine. And Hosea kept on preaching, and the people kept saying behind closed doors that Hosea's wife left him with 3 children. Poor Hosea. It serves him right, some of them would say, because he's going around telling the rest of us how to live, and he can't even take care of his own household. He's better off without her. You know something? That was true. And meanwhile, the man that I had left him for grew tired of me. He didn't want to take care of me anymore, and I was destitute. I was going to be sold at the marketplace. I had gone from a brazen woman to a broken one. When God told Hosea of my plight, he said to Hosea, do you still love this woman who has hurt you and betrayed you? Yes, said Hosea, I still love her. Then go show her your love. Show her the love that I have for the Israelites. Meanwhile, there I was at the marketplace. I was at the podium, the stand, and I was broken. And I was at my wit's end. I had ruined my life. The gavel sound, the bidding starts, and I don't care what happens to me anymore. And suddenly I hear a voice, "I'll buy her, I'll buy her." It was Hosea. He was bidding against everyone for me. And he paid the highest price for me. My knees buckled. I crumbled to the floor. And I felt his cloak around me and his arms lifting me up. And he carried me tenderly home. "Hosea," I said, how could you love me that much? Why? And he said, "Oh, Gomer, I am betrothed to you forever in love and compassion. No matter what, I will be faithful to you forever." And what happened to me after that was that I began to understand Hosea's God. It was a God who would never quit. A God who would never give up on us, no matter who we are, no matter what we've done in our life. He will continue to be calling us home to him. Whatever the price, our God is willing to pay it. Once I understood this, the world had no more allure for me. I had no more desire to leave the home with Hosea. The Old Testament book of Hosea is a love story. It's not only a love story of Hosea and me, but it's a love story of God and Israel. And ladies, my story is your story. We are all Gomers. We all want our own way. We all drift into empty pleasures. We all find ourselves trapped in chains that we never intended. But God is faithful. He says, no matter what you've done, I love you. When you're tired of wandering, when you're tired of the heartbreak, I will be there. I'll bring you back to myself again. Our God loves us completely and extravagantly, and not because of our faithfulness, but because of his. Thank you.